Some projects that I've been working on recently were a Hoka running spec commercial that I filmed with the Sony a7s3 and FX3 camera, along with 2 other action short films. I've used this camera on a wide range from personal projects to professional gigs. This has been my ride or die content creation tool that I brought with me everywhere I go, and basically as a plus one for many different media opportunities. 3 years have passed since I first bought my Sony a7s3 camera in June 2022, and in this video, I will share about how this camera has held up over the years and what my thoughts are for someone who's interested in buying this camera today. So let's talk about who this camera is for. This camera is for the professional videographer or creator, whether it's getting hired to shoot video content for small businesses or corporate interviews for bigger companies. It's one of Sony's higher level alpha cameras for video because it shoots 10-bit 422 color and 4K up to 120 frames per second. Right now, it's still in the market and holds its value at $3,500, which is a crazy investment for someone who is a camera hobbyist, but a fair amount for someone getting video gigs consistently. This camera can become a liability, however, because I've had a couple instances where I've dropped this camera and broke the LCD screen. This is a nightmare for anybody that doesn't have the funds or insurance to replace their only camera. So I highly recommend that you consider the price factor for keeping a camera this high of a caliber. It's the caveat of owning something this valuable because you risk the chance of damaging, misplacing it, or having it stolen. So here's why I initially invested in this camera in 2022. I remember in 2021 when everyone was first raving about this camera, how it was a huge step up from the Sony a7 III and the a7S2. I've noticed that cameras get trendy a year after it comes out because that gives people enough time to really get used to it, make reviews, and eventually spread the word. So this camera was very popular a year after released in 2020. At the time, I still had my Canon EOS R, and for a while I wanted to make the switch to Sony's ecosystem, and I finally made the jump when my friend Justin convinced me to get this camera, and he was hiring me for gigs, so I really wanted to match his camera's color profile and image quality. I also really loved watching Brandon Lee's travel content on YouTube, and right now he's the only filmmaker that I know that still uses this camera for a majority of his projects, so it really influenced me to make the switch. Now, everyone that I work with uses Sony, so it's cool when people you work with uses the same brand. That way, when you work with them and they work with you, you're compatible as a team because you share the same equipment. So would I buy this camera now in 2025? As a short answer, personally for me, I would say no. Because now as a filmmaker, I need the functions that the Sony FX Cinema line camera has, such as the menu options with built-in LUTs and anamorphic D-squeeze, tally lights to make sure I'm recording because that is a huge costly mistake that a lot of us still make. And basically a tool that I specialize in doing what I want to do. Right now, I think the Sony a7S III would best serve as a B camera, along with an FX3 or FX2 as my main camera. But I would say if I had no camera and I needed something that's versatile and well-rounded, then this camera would be my first choice. This camera acts as a hybrid between photo and video very efficiently, and I think it's a great safe camera without being too much of a liability. What I mean by that is that there's cameras like the FX3, FX6 that are $4,000 to $6,000, and I would want to stay in the $3,000 budget range. I think some alternatives with the newer cameras, if you just want to do video professionally and want to dabble in some filmmaking, would be the Sony a7 IV and FX30, which are more budget friendly. If you're just looking to do content creation and nothing too professional, then there's other more compact cameras too, like the Sony a7C Mark II or the a6-700 that you can take with you anywhere. So when I say professional, I mean you get actual paying clients who depend on your technical skills and equipment to create the work for them. You want a camera that has dual card slots, for example, just in case a memory card corrupts and you have a backup. Having a camera with good ergonomics like button placement and grip is useful too because sometimes you'll shoot for all day and you don't want your hands to be uncomfortable. You also want your buttons to be customizable so that it's easily accessible to get the shot that you need in the moment. I thought about upgrading to the FX3 so often this year, but there's a reason why this camera will always stay by my side. Having something so versatile from the A7 series that has the top video specs makes it hard for me to trade for anything else that's in the market. There's a level of professionalism that you feel when you go to these media events or paid gigs, and I've been paid to even rent this camera out too, so the value of this camera has potential to make you money even when you're not using it. So I really hope this video helps you understand how this camera has been durable over the years and honestly just built to last. If you guys found this video informative and want to see more behind the scenes, reviews, or anything related to content creation or filmmaking, then subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you, and as always, take care.